now we're back. We're on to the final call that was an original call. So this is one of the last original callers to the show. So this is Ram in New Delhi, and you want to talk about spirituality lacking in atheism, and you're on with Tracie and John. There's some background noise, just giving you a heads up.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Am I audible?
I can hear you,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's much better.
Okay. So basically, I wanted to talk about two things. One is duality, and one is the biggest questions that are out there, the children's questions, like why are we here, where life came from, what is consciousness, what's the universe, and why all of this. I have recently been an atheist, and these questions, they are all of the answers to these questions are I don't know. And I'm feeling that is very dissatisfying to me, because I'm a very curious person. I want to know things. And yes, so that's where I'm coming from.
Sure. We all would like to know the answers to questions. It's kind of human nature, I think, to be curious and to seek knowledge and to want answers to things, and that's why we explore these things.
Yeah, and it's kind of, I'm the anomaly because my answer wouldn't be I don't know, my answer would be I don't care. I mean, I seriously, okay. And now, I'm not trying to be dismissive of your curiosity. Let me just make that clear.
Right. I understand that.
You have this like, hey, I would like to have answers here. But sometimes you can ask a question in a way where it doesn't have an answer, right? So for example, if I asked you, where does a flame go when you blow the candle out? What is the answer?
No, I get that. I get it that some questions are like, there is no where, there is no what, there is no why.
Right. And so when somebody says, why am I here? Like, what is the meaning, what in the purpose of me actually existing?
That assumes there is one.
It could be that's a question, that's the wrong question.
That's a mute question.
Well, it might not be even a reasonable question, right? It might be a question that is like the wrong question to be asking. And the other question...
But it's the way we are wired.
Well, I think personally, like my personal view on this, is that religion tends to pump these questions up as big questions because that helps sell religion. I think that most people on the planet go through their day-to-day life and never stop and ponder why they're here. I think that most people can go like an entire year without asking, where did the universe come from? I just don't think that this is something that bugs people. I think that people ignore it, and that churches basically say, these are the big questions that need answers. And it's like, really, they're not questions. They don't have answers. And most people aren't really bothered by not knowing or thinking about it.
Because they're selling the answers is what they want you to...
Now, there are people that do explore, right? Like John is saying, you've got some people who are like, I'm going to take a ship and circumnavigate the globe just because, right? And there's like that person. And I'm not going to say that there isn't that person. And I'm not going to say that even though they might be in a minority, in my view, right? Like I say earlier, like I'm the minority, but I don't think I am. I think most people aren't asking these questions or even bothered by them. And I think that, though, if somebody has these questions, first of all, make sure you're asking questions that actually have answers, right? That do have an answer. And so a question, instead of saying, why am I here, maybe saying, I'm here and I exist, and so what do I do with this? What do I do with what I have here? How do I proceed? What is my obligation to other people? And I think those are questions that are more important to people that they do think about on a day-to-day basis, right? So I'll do something and I'll think, oh, do I have to call so-and-so and tell them that I changed that plan, that dinner got moved and I have to, do this or that our obligations to other people really do consume much more of our day-to-day lives than why am I here? I would say I am here, so what are my goals? What are my obligations? What are my values? What drives my existence? Not why is there an existence.
Right, but let me tell you something.
Sure.
Ever since I could, perceive of things, ever since I could understand and reason, I have been asking the question, like these questions. These are my questions. Like these are my biggest questions. It was not promoted by a church. It was not promoted by, I was not like indoctrinated.
No,
to
that's fair, and
ask
I
these
accept
questions.
I accept what you're saying. I think that's fair, and if you say this has driven you, I believe it. But I still think that you have to think in terms of asking reasonable questions, right? Because when you ask the question, where does the flame go when you blow the candle out? There is no answer to that because the flame doesn't go somewhere, right? The flame extinguishes and there's no more flame. It didn't go and run away somewhere else. And so the way that question is phrased, there is no answer because it's a nonsensical question. And I think that if there's not a creator, right, like let's just for the sake of argument say there's no creator, then asking why do I exist, what is the reason I am here for is a nonsensical question. It would be...
And what if that causes you extreme distress?
Then I would say that you need to understand why the question is a nonsensical question. Ask the right question. Ask a question that actually can have an answer. Because what you're saying is, what if I really need to know where the flame goes? I don't know what to tell you because the flame doesn't go anywhere. The question is, what happens to the flame when you blow the candle out? Not where did it go? And I'm saying ask a question that makes sense and you'll have an easier time finding an answer.
And if you're still under distress, really all you can do is try to come to terms with that and realize that I don't know is still going to be I don't know whether you're stressed about it or not.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I hope I don't sound dismissive of your angst about this, right? Like I don't mean to. But I do think that if you kind of question your questions, you might be able to formulate better questions that maybe do have answers that you can pursue. That's sort of my recommendation.
Yeah. Reframe.
Yeah, that's something I could do. Okay.
I hope it helps.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I
Thanks,
appreciate your
Ram.
call.